Hey guys, it's Empress. I'm back with another one. Let's get to it.
It's more than statements, it's a way of life. Celebration. The Miss Jackson talking.
For those of you guys who don't know, during the pandemic, I started two just made up for fun Instagram pages. One that was called Yellow Letters and Close Up. It was like a whole tribute to Dynasty, kind of really. The indies of Dynasty specifically is how it started. And the other one was called Back to the Cul-de-sac, which was like a tribute to, which I feel is an underrated 80s show, not Sling. And so it was this great clip. I always love of Alexis, right? Like, and speaking of Alexis, I'm talking about Alexis from Dynasty. And here's the clip. Here's
Woman begins her young adult life being soft, loving, and giving. And what it all comes down to finally is use or be used.
I did not expect for this clip to go viral, okay? This clip has like over 1 million plays on Instagram, and it is causing so much kind of conversation, perhaps even tension in the comments. And I just didn't imagine that this clip, probably from I believe maybe the third season of Dynasty, would still hit. And this was like 1983, right? Would still 1983, 1982 would still hit to this point as to where it strikes a nerve with people. And that nerve is either like, yeah, I'm down with Alexis, right? Use or be used. Then you have other people like, you can't do that. But it's interesting because how people are commenting, either they're commenting on like their own personal perspective, or they're kind of commenting as though like, yeah, Joan Collins is saying this today. And so I want to ask you guys, you heard the clip, you just saw it. What do you guys think about it? And not only that, again, it's just so amazing to me how, again, things can change, but things in society can change. But one thing about love and relationships, those dynamics I think would pretty much be the same here in and here out. And I think it's also interesting for people who, are just in this clip. I love it because, again, I was born after Dynasty premiered, never saw it in real time. But as a kid, I just saw Joan Collins in this role and was blown away like, whoa, who is that? I just love that it's reaching so many people because, like, people ask me, like, what movie is this? Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's not a movie, it's a show, Dynasty. The original Dynasty from the 80s, the best Dynasty, the only Dynasty, if you ask me. And I love that it's getting people interested in, like, I'm just big up on my girl. I'm just shouting out my girl, Joan Collins, right? I said, I feel like she's one of the most underrated actresses ever. And also, I think what's important is to understand the background of Alexis, right? So Alexis is saying use or be used. She's talking to Adam, her son here. And what's so interesting about Alexis is, and I kind of have a hard time with this because I am so Team Blake, right? Which was Alexis' ex-husband. But Alexis is my girl. I'm rocking with her. Like, my headline on the Instagram page is Alexis Colby raised me, okay? So, but again, I'm not oblivious to what Alexis did. So Blake working hard, going to the School of Mines at night to support his family. Blake owns all these different. Blake is an oil tycoon, right? So he owns all these oil fields. And one day he comes home, finds Alexis in bed with the lawn dude, right? The dude come to cut grass, right? And cut some mouse. And so what Blake did at the time, they had two kids. He banished Alexis from Denver and he paid her alimony for all those years. And she came back into his life about 1982, 1981, about 1982, because Blake was on the murder trial for killing Stephen, his son's lover. And so, is Alexis saying used to be used? I don't know if she can apply that to Blake specifically, right? Because it seems as though in the early years, Blake was a good husband from a financial standpoint, even loving to an extent, right? He had a temper, of course. But I'm not sure if this used or be used was applied to Blake, can apply to Blake, because I don't feel like Blake ever used Alexis, so to speak. I don't know. But anyway, drop the comments down below if you know about the history of Dynasty. I already told y'all, like, I want to explore every episode of Dynasty, talk about it, okay? Because it's such a fascinating show to me. But this clip specific, right? Let's not go on that tantrum. Let's not go down that rabbit hole of Alexis and Blake's dynamics. But on this clip specifically, like, what is y'all viewpoint of it? Drop the comments down below. All right, guys. I see you next time.